Hey everyone, Maestro here, the football enthusiast. Hope you all are well. It's Sunday, 7th of May, last day of the weekend, and we had a banger. So this is my post-match reaction to that banger. Newcastle, St. James's Park against Arsenal FC, finishing 2-0 to Arsenal. Gotta say, I'm surprised. I am. I'm surprised of the result. I'm not surprised that Arsenal played well, but I'm surprised that we got away with a 2-0 win. I was expecting a draw. For me, had a draw written all over it, and maybe even a loss for Newcastle, considering the form that they're in and the form Arsenal are in. But exceptional performance from Arsenal. They win 2-0. As an Arsenal fan, I'm proud of the lads. I'm proud. It was a great performance. And let's talk about it. Let's give my thoughts on the game itself, how I thought it went, where the game was won and lost, and my thoughts on the effects this could have on the season. So the game itself, we start kickoff straight away. Jacob Murphy hits the post almost instantly. I'm shitting myself at this point. I'm thinking, because if you remember, I watched the game against Spurs and they got off to, they were 4-0 up after 15 minutes against Spurs. They scored in the first minute. If Jacob Murphy's shot went a bit to the right and it hits off the post and goes in, we could be talking about a different result. But sometimes luck shines on you, sometimes it doesn't. It shined on us for that moment and it didn't go in, and the game goes on. And it's a physical game. Newcastle were extremely physical with us. I felt like they were kind of just about floating with the line of just pretty much fouling us and getting away with it. There were times where I thought they were a bit too physical and the referee kind of let them off a bit too much, but it is football. You can do that. Sometimes referees do let games play. And this was one of those games, for the most part, where he especially at the start, where he let the game play, and Newcastle's their physicality was working for quite a while. It was working until Odegaard's goal against the run of play. It was Odegaard with that goal. By the way, this is just, I'm not entirely sure this is true. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty confident it is. But you guys should do some research and learn if it is 100% true. With that goal from Martin Odegaard, I believe he has around 16 goals in the Premier League this season, which is tied most for the most non-penalty goals from a midfielder in a season, tied with Kevin De Bruyne. That is exceptional, and the goal itself was exceptional. He, before he took it from Jorginho, he knew exactly what he was going to do with that. He saw the space, he saw the opportunity. And he's done that a number of times this season, that kind of goal. He takes the ball from his right, floats it to his left, and then the banger on the floor, skins through the grass to the bottom right corner. He's done that a number of times this season, and he's done it again. Maybe not from that distance. This was, I think, a bit more further out than he usually does, but it's still very similar to his past goals. And yeah, it goes in, and it's against the run of play. It's an exceptional goal, a goal that Arsenal needed, because once again, I'm a parrot here. It's against the run of play, and Newcastle looked very, very good. After that goal, Newcastle still came back. After that goal, it was a proper neck and neck game. Arsenal and Newcastle really put on a show for us. It was a fantastic game. Newcastle, I thought in the final third, were just not clinical enough. The decision making was a bit iffy. The final pass itself, from the midfield to the attack, the ball behind the back, the ball to put the players through, was not good enough. I thought it was almost always was just a bit too long from Newcastle. And yeah, ultimately, even when they were through, they couldn't really capitalize on that. So with that being the case, that's kind of why Arsenal were able to kind of hold to Newcastle during this game and keep a clean sheet. Now, I also want to talk about how Arsenal really could have been 3-0 up themselves before halftime. Chances from Saka and Martinelli. Great play from Odegaard to set up those chances, by the way. Actually, no. Odegaard gave Martinelli a great chance, and I believe it was Jorginho that gave Saka a great chance, and ultimately both failed. The Martinelli chance was rough because he knew there was two guys behind him. I think he was worried that if he wound up his foot high enough, he would get caught and not be able to shoot. And ultimately, or if he wound up his foot high enough, the defender behind him would get a chance to chip the ball away from him. And so he kind of shot very quick, Martinelli, and it was a soft shot and ultimately easy save. Saka's one, the accuracy was not there. It was straight at him. He had time, he got the power, but the accuracy was not there, and the angle was a bit too much for Saka. And ultimately, from then on, I'm thinking this can go either way. It's 1-0 right now. It could go up to 3-1 Newcastle, or we could be running away from this 3-0 to us. It's a fantastic game. The second half comes in and it's almost the same. It's essentially the same. The same game from the first half. Not much change. Both teams going at it. Newcastle being as physical as ever. But I thought Arsenal just about edged. I thought that they were more clinical with their final pass. They were more efficient with their attacking play. And defensively, Gabriel Kiwior I thought was very good. I love the substitution for Tierney for Zinchenko was a fantastic one. He learned from his mistakes, Arteta, to bring on, because Zinchenko at that time looked a bit roughy. Newcastle were going at him a bit, and he looked a bit on edge defensively. And so he brought on Tierney a lot earlier than he usually does. And ultimately, I think it really calmed things down for Arsenal. And at that point, from the 61th minute, I thought it was a fantastic defensive performance from Arsenal. And I'm very proud of the lads for this performance. The second goal, the killer goal and own goal, it's unfortunate, but it's an unfortunate lucky goal for Arsenal, but you make your own luck. It's great play from Martinelli. He was a killer down the left-hand side, and he's been in great form, by the way, this season. Great form. His play, own goal, unfortunate, but it is made by Martinelli. He deserves a lot of credit for that goal. So yeah, that's kind of the report of the game. Now, the Newcastle, how should they feel about this game for the rest of the season? Look, let's take a look at the table. So we'll talk about Arsenal in a second in the table, but let's talk about Newcastle right now. Newcastle currently sitting at third, 34 games played, 65 points. They are only 2 points ahead of Newcastle. They are only 2 points ahead of Manchester United, and Manchester United do have a game in hand. So with a win, they can jump over with a 1-point lead on Newcastle. Now, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Now, what is the issue for them that they should worry about? Maybe worry about is fifth, because 3, 4th, who cares? Second, who cares? You get Champions League football. All right, that's what they want, and I think that's what they're getting. Look, Liverpool, of course, they're a threat. Now, they're only 3 points behind Newcastle, 100%. But they have a game in hand, Newcastle, and with the remaining fixtures, which let's just take a quick. I've already done this video before, but just for this sake, just real quick. Leeds away, Brighton home, Leicester home, Chelsea away. Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna take a real. This is tough, because Leeds away is gonna be tough. They are fighting for their lives. Brighton home. Whilst Newcastle should be the favourites, Brighton have been exceptional this season. Leicester home. Leicester are once again fighting for their lives. Chelsea away. Now, Chelsea have been absolutely atrocious this season, but they just beat Bournemouth. At this point, they could be hitting some form. Let's just take a quick gander at Liverpool's fixtures, just whilst we're here. What's left for them? Leicester away, Aston Villa home, Southampton away. Okay. You know what? I think Newcastle will just about make it. I think Newcastle will just about be safe, and they will get top 4. Look, Liverpool have been in great form. Look, the results suggest they've been in great form, but I don't think they've been playing that well. They have 3. They have 6 wins in a row. But if you watch them play, they're not playing particularly great. And now, look, I'm gonna make a second video talking about Liverpool's form. But for now, just a quick, they're not playing that great, and I think they'll get a loss here. And with that loss, I think Newcastle will be good enough to kind of chug their way through this, because I think they are a great side, and today could have ended differently. Jacob Murphy's shot hits the post and in, little other things. Maybe they get the whistle more on their side. It could have ended differently today. So it's not. They should take this and just rub it off and just shake it off. And I think they should be fine. They should be fine, Newcastle. They should. I thought they were perfectly fine, but looking at both teams' fixtures, it's a bit worrying. Yes, and maybe I am kind of second guessing myself, but I'm gonna go ahead and just stick with Newcastle. I think they'll be fine. there is a worry, of course, and they should be a bit worried. But ultimately, I think they're good enough to get enough wins from those remaining fixtures, and I don't think Liverpool will win all their games left. Yes, they got 6 wins in a row, but those 6 wins in a row kind of tell a false story, and we'll talk about that in another video. So yeah, look, that's when Newcastle fall. Arsenal, you know, when the game ended, the commentators were, you know, talking about, they're giving their ending monologue, not monologue, just the ending final speech before they go to the studio, and talking about how Arsenal have done their job. You know, they've done they can. The title race is still very much on fire. It's not. Look, this is a fantastic win. It's the toughest game they've had. Look, Arsenal's fixtures, they have just played their last toughest game of the season. Brighton at home, Nottingham Forest away, and Wolves at home will not be as hard as this fixture was. But as I do expect Arsenal to win all of these games, yes, but I also expect City to win all of their games. All right. Now in the Premiership, they have Everton away, Chelsea at home, Brighton away, Brentford away. Now the ones that I think we can all agree that they will win is Chelsea at home, Brentford away. Yeah, those are the ones I think everyone will agree that they will win. Everton away could get some doubters because Everton are fighting for their lives, but they have just too much at City, and I think they are actually just a full-on counter for a side like Everton. So I think that will be tough for Everton. Not just only our City, just so much better, but I feel like the way they play is just not what Everton. It does not feed well for Everton. So I think this is an easy win as well. Brighton away, for those saying that Brighton away could be an issue, I watched Brighton against Manchester United. Brighton were home against United as well, and that game really discouraged me. Look, they won and they deserve to win, but they were just far too. In the final third, they were just far too wasteful. And defensively, United found ways in; they just couldn't finish. So I'm thinking, against City, they won't allow Brighton to get the chances that they had, as United did. And they will be far more clinical than United were. So both ways, I'm thinking they keep clean sheet, and not only that, get 2 or 3 goals. So I'm thinking that fixture is done. So with that being said, I don't see City dropping enough points for Arsenal to win the title. That sucks for me to say, because I love Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan, but if you don't know, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. That's my thoughts on the effect the game will have on the future, and it essentially not much. Newcastle should be a bit worried. Yes, but I think they'll pull through. I trust in them and the remaining fixtures to kind of pull through, to have all season. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please, if you did enjoy, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe for more. You can find me on my Twitter, by the way, at the Maestro Style. That's my handle for all socials. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, yeah, I'm repeating myself now. I'm still getting used to this YouTube stuff. Anyway, yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and as always, take care of yourselves.